I'm ranking every single fragrance that I own, and this time it's a weird one. I do definitely own it. I have an unopened bottle, but I still haven't used it because there's the sample that I haven't finished yet. And the weird thing is, I don't think I will anytime soon. So the fragrance is Bogue Douleur. From French, douleur means pain, if I am to trust Google Translate, and let's deliver some of it on me, shall we? So the immediate scent, it's amazing. It's intoxicating. What I get from it is very metallic rose with menthol, mint, and it has a bitter greenness to it. It has a bubblegum vibe, and I can smell some underlying dirtiness to it. This is one of my favorite openings of all time. Previously, when I was testing this, I could also discern some honey note that is kind of going into a more of a piss direction, if you understand what I mean. But right now, on me, in this kind of a humid and hot environment, it doesn't smell like honey at all. It's very much metallic, sweet, slightly bitter, floral, and has a very unique opening. And quite a complex one at that. And it is quite strong and very much projecting. So one spray is definitely more than enough for what this fragrance can deliver. Now, so far, everything is amazing, right? The opening, it's one of my favorites of all time. Not to mention that this fragrance, it has quite the sentimental value to me. I found out about it during a trip with my girlfriend. In fact, the first trip we went to abroad ever, and we were visiting Budapest. We were going on to walks, having a great time, and it was my first year of actually being really into fragrances. And what happens is we're walking through an alley and we find this perfumery shop. It's called 7 Scents Parfumeria, and it's quite a magical place, honestly. So there are these two men in this shop. One of them is the owner, the other one is a consultant, and they were so nice to us, actually. We spent there like a couple of hours, I think. We went through almost every single fragrance in there, and at some point I asked them, what's the worst fragrance you can offer to me? You know, the most foul smelling, the most challenging fragrance that you could go for. And they offered me this. And at that point I got cursed. I loved it so damn much. I sprayed it on myself, and at around that point we realized that they're not as welcome of us anymore. And I said, hey, I really want to try this out. I'm going out and then we'll return. What happened though is my girlfriend, she absolutely hated it the whole time. We didn't return there. And it did make me feel really bad. So if you ever go to Budapest, to Hungary, and if you ever want to see a fragrance store, go there. Maybe tell them that I sent you there. Probably they don't remember me, but I feel bad about that. They're not even sponsoring me or anything. It's just that I kind of feel bad for just going through their store and not returning afterwards. And the worst thing is, I still bought the fragrance, but not from them. It's just kind of sad. And now let's get into why I haven't opened the bottle and haven't finished the sample. To be fair, the sample did have quite a bit of it in there. It's just that I used it like 5 times maybe, and each time I got only through one spray. About an hour into the fragrance, the amazing aspects of the opening have kind of faded away. It's still very much metallic, still very much rosy, kind of bitter, green, and weird. It kind of starts getting into a more of a piss vibe, into a more of a, shall I say, cum vibe. And that's one of the big challenging points in here. And it's still going strong, it's projecting, it goes all over the place. People can definitely smell it, and I think that this is the most anti-complimented fragrance that I own. As you may have guessed, I haven't sprayed it on me any more than like 5 times or something, and during these times I've had at least 2 people come up to me and verbatim say, do not wear this fragrance ever again, please. Right, so I still did. I will wear whatever the fuck I want, okay? Anyways, at about 6 hours in, it's still quite strong. It has died down a bit. It has this candy floss vibe, this rosiness to it, green bitterness, and a bit of a cum vibe as well. Overall, it's quite obvious that it's not enjoyable, and I'm actually kind of suffering at that point. It is definitely interfering with whatever I'm doing because I'm getting whiffs of unpleasant smells. At about 11.5 hours in, it is a skin scent, but it still smells quite strong for it. And the urine-like quality, it persists. The smell is dirty, animalistic for sure. I think it hasn't been good at that point for the past 10 hours at least. And if you haven't gone to the shower at that point still, in the next morning it still kind of smells quite noticeably, uniquely Douleur. So, how do I want to rank this fragrance? It has, as I said, a lot of sentimental value to me. It's really important to me as a hallmark fragrance, both in my relationship and as something that was another huge straw in breaking the camel's back, in making me actually like screwed up stuff. Could I put it in S tier? No, I couldn't, because the opening itself cannot carry this fragrance into being S tier. A doesn't work, B doesn't work, C doesn't work. It's an unpleasant fragrance. I think the D implies mediocrity. This is not a mediocre fragrance. Okay, I'm putting it in F tier. The reasoning is simple. I love the opening. It's intoxicating. The longevity is amazing. The projection is huge. But at the same time, I definitely hate the rest of it. And it's not just I dislike it. I actually actively hate it. And people around me do hate it too. So the result is, it's not just enough for it to just be unpleasant. It first lures you in with that pleasantness, with that niceness, and then it just blasts you with cum and other notes that you don't really like. Not to mention that it lasts a crazy amount of time. This is just not good. So this has been the scent. That's why I haven't opened it up. There's a whole story of how this scent became what it is. It's actually a collab of sorts, and you can just read up on that. I'm only telling about my feelings and how I relate to it. So yeah, some of you have told me that you would love a Q&A session with me. I mean, sure, I would love it. If you do feel like asking questions, just write it down in the comments. It will probably last a couple of videos, right? I don't think that this single video will be that popular. Probably like 30 people will watch it. I don't know. It's not a popular fragrance. And yeah, I'll make a Q&A video afterwards. Maybe even do a live stream. Who knows?